The other champions by the Bay found spring training to be a time to shed the memories of their disappointing World Series loss to the Dodgers in 1988. The A's had forged a 5-2 record by April 10th when, with one swing, McGwire injured his back and, combined with Canseco, would leave Oakland with a severe power shortage for the next 14 games. With all the injuries, Tony La Russa was forced to manage like never before.
Probably the best prepared manager I've ever seen. I mean, he is so prepared. He is so into the game. He doesn't let anything slip. And what he did this year with the players he had out and the players he had to play with just gives credit to Tony La Russa.
Returning to the A's at the end of April was McGwire, and as May began, he made his impact felt. The scene is Toronto, 9th inning. The A's trail by 1, but they stage a most improbable rally. 2 outs, bases loaded against Tom Henke. It's McGwire time for sure.
From the stretch, Henke's pitch. Swung on! Way back! Left field! Grand slam! Mark McGwire! Holy Toledo!
McGwire's dramatic blast put the A's in first by half a game, where they'd remain the rest of the month. With all the injuries, it was inevitable the A's would hit a rough spot sooner or later. And in June came the proverbial swoon. The A's went just 13-14, and everything that could go wrong did go wrong.
These two teams are the leaders, and Mark McGwire at the plate with Parker aboard. Just right in the wheelhouse and nails this one way back over the 387 sign. His 14th of the year, Jose Bautista, who hadn't started in a while.
So even with all their injuries, the resourceful A's were but a game and a half out at the All-Star break, and were certainly well represented at the game. La Russa was the American League manager. McGwire, the first baseman. For the second straight year, Terry Steinbach was the catcher. Mike Moore was there for the first time. And believe it or not, so was Stewart, who despite back-to-back 20-win seasons had never been named to the All-Star team before.
Among the league leaders in home runs and RBIs in 1989, playing first base and batting 8th from the Oakland Athletics, number 25, Mark McGwire.
Time now for our Player of the Week, brought to you by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. We salute Bo Jackson, the star all the other stars are talking about.
He's a phenomenal player. He really is. He's very dynamic. He can do a lot of things. He can run, hit, throw, hit with power.
When he hit that ball, I swear I thought he hit a golf ball, the way it sounded.
Just have to just sit back and just watch Bo just go to work and just sit back and just take notes. Maybe you can learn something.
Bo's for real. He's God, as far as I'm concerned.
Here's a drive to right center field. That is really hit. It's well back, and there is home run number 100 for Mark McGwire. Mark tags them all. What a blast that was. You won't find a better swing put on by Mark McGwire.
Still another factor in the A's success was their chemistry. For a team that plays as one, well, quite often, wins as one.
You can't come into this clubhouse with a sad face on you. If you have a sad face on your face, you're going to have a smile before the day's over with because people are beyond you. They're going to make you laugh. It's a great team to be on.
I'm going to show you what I'm going to do. I'm going to throw one pitch and then I'm leaving the game.
Merv Retman. That's all he teaches. You don't want to... That's why I hit 230 this year, folks. That's why I hit 230.
Next stop, Minnesota, where they rattled the Twins with 19 runs in 4 games.
McGwire goes after the first pitch, and it's hit deep to center. Will this be his first Metrodome homer? Yes! It's almost a business-like, rather subdued celebration by this Oakland club, as if they expected all along.
Go ahead, but no longer, right? Hey, Big Mark McGwire, congratulations, buddy.
What a road.
Well,
it was a lot sweeter than last year's.
This was?
By far.
What made it better?
Because of the controversy and the adversity we've had all year. You know, guys been out half the year. Jose, Dennis, Walt Weiss, myself, Carney, down the line. Guys came in and filled in for everybody. And it's been a tough road since day one, and we did it. A lot of people wrote us off, but we did it.
Anything different, Mark, about this ball club than last year's, you think?
I think it probably came in spring training when we knew Jose. We couldn't have him until almost all-star break. And everybody pulled together. We knew we couldn't have him. I think the biggest thing, I didn't hear one guy in the ball club say, I wish we had Jose back. We went out there and played. And when Dennis went out, nobody said, hey, we wish we had Dennis back. Todd Burns and Rick Honeycutt did an excellent job. Walter Weiss did it, went out. In comes Mike Gallego. Unbelievable plays he made. We did it. We did it.
Let me ask you, what was it like picking up that last ball of the ball game tonight and running those last 5 or 6 feet?
It was great. I was just thinking, who am I going to jump into the arms? And here I jump into Gene Nelson's the smallest guy in the team, and he's carrying me, so it was great.
Mark, congratulations, man. Nice game.
Thanks, buddy.
All right. I'll take that anytime.
No, it wasn't exactly the Bash Brothers in 1989, nor was it easy. But through all the injuries, the A's persevered, thanks to a love of the game that comes from the heart, and the kind of team effort that comes from depth, chemistry, resourcefulness, and an unabashed will to win.
Game 1 of the American League Championship Series is brought to you by your local authorized Porsche dealer.
As we move to the last half of the 6th, Steve nursing a 3-2 lead. He's given the A's 6 hits. His mates have 5 off Stewart. And McGwire may have just tied it. First pitch, see you later.
Steve came out, and on his 81st pitch, perhaps showing a little stiffness after all those hard sliders against this slugging team. And I guess that's why Jim Acker was up in the bullpen before he even threw one pitch. One that was hit very deeply and hard by Mark McGwire.
Big week for the McGwire clan. His brother, 6'8" Dan McGwire, is a quarterback at San Diego State, transferred from Iowa. Watch what big brother Mark did on this pitch from Steve, and he knows it. Watch the people react behind the dugout. That wasn't one of those you root on as it makes its way toward the fence. They knew it was gone in an instant.
What his brother threw for 500 yards last weekend.
Also got help from their more conventional forces. And before Toronto could put a stop to the onslaught, Oakland led 2-0.
We're back.
Everything was in the normal pregame mode at Candlestick. There was no warning, no precursor of that which was to come.
For the first time in 20
Our ABC broadcast began at 5 o'clock Pacific time. 4 minutes into it, we were showing the nation a replay from a previous game. Then the earth began to move.
Allowing Jose Canseco to score, and he fails to get Dave Parker at second base, so the Oakland A's take.
I'll tell you what, we're having an
Quake was the word that never made it on the air.
We're down.
Down. Everything's down. Relax. We're down.
I can't believe that.
We're knocked off the air. We're out. There's no lights in the. Everything's out.
Unbelievable. I can't believe
feel a lot better about it. You're just about to start screaming at me.
Now, that's what you call an opening.
I don't know if we're on the air or not, and I'm not sure I care at this particular moment, but we are. Well, folks, that's the greatest open in the history of television, bar none.
We are still, as we can tell, on the air, and I guess you are hearing us, even though we have no picture and no return audio, and we will be back, we hope, from San Francisco in just a moment.
You know, when you're out in the open, it doesn't feel like it's that bad. I didn't think it was that bad, but it turns out to be a devastating earthquake. You know, the concerns now with all the people that were on the bridge, you know, who knows, so.
Okay, thanks very much. Appreciate it.
Like the familiar sights and sounds of baseball. Aggressively, and with McGwire at bat, sent both runners to stay out of the double play. The strategy worked perfectly, and the tone the A's had established before the quake had been reclaimed without missing a beat.
The hit in the inning. Downs on deck. And the 2-2 pitch is grounded to the right side. Great diving stop by McGwire, but the throw does get it. Stewart gets over there just in time to take care of him at first base, but the Giants get 2 to make it 4-3. One of the first things Dave Stewart will tell you, how do you win 20 games? You take advantage of an underrated defense. McGwire at 6'5", about 230. Well, he just heads off a ball destined for right field. Would have tied it up 4-4. Good play by Stewart covering first base, something you do all spring training, and really paid off here. Great agility for the big guy. So the Giants settle for the 2 on Kennedy's 2-run single in the 4th inning.
But it's at times like this that the vaunted Oakland defense makes its mark.
And the 2-2 pitch is grounded to the right side. Great diving stop by McGwire, but the throw does get it.
McGwire making that defensive play, which was a very tough one against a good runner, Sheridan, and Stewart getting over to cover was, I mean, that's classic defensive baseball. And we walked back in our dugout still up a run. And anytime that you got the edge and keep it, and if they come at you like they did, but you don't give up the lead, it's always a big plus for your team. They have some momentum, but not all of it. So I really felt the defensive play kept the momentum on our side.
There was new life in Candlestick, but the A's hadn't gotten here on offense alone. And both Stewart and his defense shut the door.
Swing, ground ball, diving stop by McGwire. To his feet, left to Stewart in time. A brilliant play by Mark McGwire to take away a base hit from Sheridan. Swung on bounce, off McGwire's glove. Phillips has it, throws to Eckersley in time. Another great play by Tony Phillips. And the A's have won the World Series in a sweep.
For the National League champion Giants, sadness and some reflection. For the world champion Oakland A's, redemption, as they secured what they had missed out on just a year prior.
Hello, I'm Joe Torre, and this is Baseball Talk. Today we'll talk baseball with Mark McGwire. The 1987 season seemed to be a never-ending string of great moments for Mark. In August, he clubbed his 39th homer to set a major league record for rookies.
It was a relief because everybody's asking me, when are you going to do it, when are you going to do it? And everybody's asking, when are you going to home run? And home runs aren't easy to do, they just happen. And I think one great thing was I broke it in Anaheim with my parents watching and a lot of my friends. And I tell you, it was a relief, and it was a very exciting time in my life. And I think it was probably the first time that I got to make a curtain call at a visiting ballpark.
In all, he had 49 homers, and while winning Rookie of the Year was not a surprise, getting all the votes was.
When they called me up and said it was a unanimous decision, and the second time in the history of the league, I think the first time was Carlton Fisk. I think that really got me because to be unanimous, and there were some good rookies. With Kevin Seitzer had a great year, had over 200 hits and well over 300. Matt Noakes from Detroit had a great year. What can you say? But when they said unanimous, it was a great thrill.
A season of highlights reached its climax for Mark in July, when he appeared in his first All-Star game.
I can remember the days that, when I was playing SC and you drive by the Oakland Coliseum when we played Cal up there. And I can remember faintly that they were saying that the All-Star game is going to be in Oakland in '87, and never thinking that I'd be playing in that. And playing in it in my rookie year, getting asked and not voted by the league and by the managers was quite an honor. And tipping my hat for like about a 3-4 minute standing ovation was quite a thrill. So I was probably at the top of the season.
Thanks, Mark. For Baseball Talk, I'm Joe Torre.